If you find yourself scattered and having a really hard time getting things done, I'm going to teach you a tool in this video that is going to help you be more productive while also, and this is key, while also being kind to yourself. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jen Hanover, and I am a meditation teacher. I'm a breath worker, and I'm a writer here in Los Cabos, Mexico. And I own a studio called Studio B, where we help dreamers, creators, artists, and visionaries, idea people, to get things out of their head and onto paper. And then from there, to figure out a plan as to how actually you're going to get your work out into the world. It's very fun work, but it also involves working with some really zany people who have tons of different ideas and whose minds are, I think, what popular culture calls these days neurodivergent. So I'm definitely not going to address ADD, ADHD, OCD, all these acronyms that we associate with and label ourselves with these days. I think that you've got to do the best you can with what you've got on any given day, regardless of, the diagnoses that you have. And one of the things that has been most helpful for me as absolutely a bit of a scattered person, I can definitely kind of tend to go on spin cycle. And it's been a very conscious process for me to go from being up here with all my ideas into grounding down a little bit, sitting down, what actually needs to happen, and then actually doing the thing. And we all know that the only people among us, the only idea people, the only dreamers, the only people who have these big ideas, who are actually going to make anything happen, are the ones who sit down and do the fucking work. Am I right? So here is a tool that is absolutely groundbreaking and incredible and basic as you can possibly imagine. And it is called the Pomodoro Technique. You may have heard of the Pomodoro Technique. That's totally cool. My question to you is, are you actually using it? Because if you're not, I want you to start and even just see how it can work for you. For example, my team and I, when we're figuring out our action steps, we actually identify how many Pomodoros we think this task is going to take. And that is a very, very crucial productivity tip that I can give you, is instead of just like rolling out a whole bunch of tasks that are on your plate, actually sit down and go, how much time is this task going to take? And then you can do what one of my online mentors, Marie Forleo, talks about, which is putting every single thing into your calendar. And she actually goes so far as to say in her program Time Genius, which I absolutely love, she goes so far as to say that if you don't put it in your calendar, you're not actually that serious about it. And that really hit me. I was like, you know what? How many of these things am I actually slotting bubbles for in my calendar? On my team, in my little world, we call a Pomodoro a bubble. And that's why I always use the term tiny bubbles everywhere, is because if you look at my planner, I've got, look at this, little bubbles. It's part of bullet journaling as well, but they're all over the place. They're up on the walls. They're in my planner. They're in the notebooks, like everything that I have, there's all these little dots. And the little dot represents 25 minutes of time. Now that's the classic Pomodoro technique, is 25 minutes. However, we don't, same thing as we don't want to attach to labels. And I know that's a sensitive subject with like ADD and stuff like that, but I really do think that you can use labels as an excuse. And if you're like, oh, I've tried the Pomodoro technique and it hasn't worked for me, doesn't matter. Who cares about a Pomodoro? The Pomodoro technique is just a name created by some guy who wanted to cook some tomato sauce, literally, like it's like a tomato timer. What it is it's a focus block. If you look across the field of time management, productivity, organization, the idea of focus blocking is everywhere because it works. And it especially works if you get scattered, you have a hard time focusing, and you really need to get some work done, and you feel like you get to the end of the day and you haven't accomplished anything. Then I want you to open up your phone, open up your timer, and put 25 minutes and go like that. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to turn off all notifications, both on your laptop and on your phone. For me, I actually put my phone like elsewhere on top of the fridge. And the other thing you're going to do is you're going to identify one task that you are going to complete in that 25 minutes. If you complete the task before 25 minutes, rock on, party on, good for you. You can move on to the next one. But you don't shift context. It's called context shifting, right? It scatters your brain. You don't shift your context until after that task is complete. Then when your 25 minutes is up, you take a 5-minute break. I like jump around. I get kind of weird on my breaks in between my Pomodoros. I'll just like turn on some music, jump around a little bit, shake. Like I find like shaking can be really helpful for just like moving the energy through my body a little bit, especially if I'm filming or if I'm teaching or doing a lot of writing. 5 minutes, you set a timer, then you come back to ninja mode. You set your timer for 25, you turn off your notifications, and you focus on the next task. So that's all you need to do. Number 1, set your timer. Number 2, go on do not disturb right across the board. And number 3, have a super clear task in mind that you are going to work on during that time block. So that is my version of the Pomodoro technique. Tiny bubbles everywhere in your planner, on the walls. Anything that you want to get done can be reduced to increments of 25 minutes at a time. I know some of you might have a hard time focusing for 25 minutes. You're not alone. That's totally cool. And sometimes it can take a little while to work up to that 25-minute cap. So set a timer for 10 minutes and then just work. 12 minutes, 15 minutes. The point is, guys, that the amount of time is not important. What's important is that you set an environment for yourself where you can focus. And before we go, some additional things that can also make your Pomodoro-ing better is having a nice clear workspace, is letting people know if you have like people who contact you for urgent things, kids, work, job, business, these kinds of things. Let them know that you're in a Pomodoro and that you'll get back to them as soon as you're finished. And the other thing that you can do is make sure that you have water at your station, maybe have a little snack handy. If you like your snacks, I like my snacks. And overall, just try to create an environment that is lubricated for your success. Okay, that's all for today. Talk to you next time.